On today's episode of All Daughters Considered. In our homes, Haitian women are pillars. They are the first ones up and the last ones asleep. They build businesses, send money back home, earn degrees, raise siblings, and hold entire families together. In society, they are resilient, ambitious, and unapologetically strong. But in many church spaces, that same strength becomes too much, same leadership becomes out of order, and that same voice becomes something to quiet. The daughters who organize these fundraisers, lead choirs, and pray heaven down are often the same daughters told to shrink when decisions are being made. So tonight we ask, who are Haitian women allowed to be in the world versus who they are permitted to be in the church? The State of the Daughters begins now.
This is for the girl, golden girl, God's child. Head up, wear your crown and smile. This is for the girls all over the world. Let me hear you. And don't forget it either. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 1 of All Daughters Considered. Yay. I'm super excited, extremely excited that we get to start this, but also extremely excited to have this conversation with these wonderful ladies. How are you guys doing today?
Wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Well, we're doing great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can you introduce yourselves? You can start, Prophetess.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everyone. It is so good to be here. I am Jeriele Prudent, and I'm just honored to be here and excited to talk about what today's subject is going to be.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm Prophetess Shela Dieudonne, and I am excited to be here. I just can't wait.
Awesome. I'm so excited. All right, so we're just going to dive right in. As we already discussed, like, this isn't a confrontation of sorts, but more like a review. I think it's important as a people, no matter who you are, to know where you were, where you are, and where you're going. I feel like that's super important to the progress of any type of anything. So I really just, as daughters that grew up in this, institution that we call the Haitian Church, I think it's important that from our perspectives that we survey. And if anybody watching has a different perspective, please feel free to leave it in the comments, share it with us, let us know. Because these conversations are meant to be healing, and we got to have them. So let's begin. All right, question number 1. Let's start with, what did being a good daughter look like in the Haitian church growing up? We all kind of got an idea what that looks like, but what did it look like for you guys?
Well, if I may say, being a good daughter in the Haitian church growing up, it's, to make sure you wear that long skirt, that long dress. And, you got to have that sleeve.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you have that sleeve, and you have to listen and do exactly as you're told. And it's as if there's already a pattern that you have to follow. Okay, and whatever is a no is a no. Whatever is a yes is a yes. Okay, and as long as you follow, you're a good daughter.
Yeah.
I love how you said that, because I would put it in these terms. I would say we learned, or at least I did, I learned obedience before identity.
Oh, that's good.
That's powerful.
So I had to learn to listen to instructions, to follow through with expectations, to always pay attention to how society would perceive me before ever being taught truly, how do I perceive myself? How does God perceive me? Who is Jeriele before the title of Petite Pasteur Prudent, right? So that was the struggle, that was the tension that I could not put into words at the time, but I'm only now able to verbalize and express, because in my big age, I find myself only now, maybe within recent years, asking me, who are you, sis? Who are you, girl? What do you like? What disgusts you? And so
and
that's
I feel
where
like
we're
that's
at.
such a humbling place
Yeah.
as an adult to be like, I actually don't know what I like.
Takes a lot to admit it.
Yeah, it really does. And I feel like maybe there are a lot of people kind of living in like a cycle, because they just don't want to admit that, okay, I know what I'm good at. I know how good of a helper I am. I know how to serve. I know how to be in these different capacities, but I don't know who I am. So in that same token, would you say that Haitian daughters in the church, Haitian women in the church were protected or policed? Because the reason why I asked that is, as a Haitian woman, we know that in our culture, there is this weird dichotomy that exists. Haitian women, both anecdotally, like if you look out into the families, the people you know, your aunts, your uncles, your parents, Haitian women play a very pivotal role in families. Many Haitian women, they're hustlers. They go out there, they work, they provide like necessities for the households that they serve, and they are pillars in their family, but also are not respected entities in society, and also in those same families that they are holding up. So like their importance is visible, but the respect is not always there. So sometimes what we perceive as protection is like, no, like I'll protect you as long as you're doing this.
Yes.
So what do you guys think about that?
What do you say, Prophetess?
Well, I'll say that's why a lot of young people in the Haitian community suffer rejection, because they feel like, I want to do this, but if I do it, they will disown me.
Yeah.
And you know how they love to threat you about, if you can't follow, we're done with you. You think you are old enough to do this, so you go your way.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's just, I believe what you're doing, what you just said right now, what you just asked, is such a deep question that a lot of people struggle with within our community. And we cannot actually hold on to ourselves, because we have to constantly rely on our parents. And it's not really sometimes it's not even about our parents, it's about the community. What will they say? What will they say? What will they think if you do this? Like, it's like we could allow it, but the community won't allow it, so you can't do it. So we just like box in all the time, and we have to stay within that bubble, which make us a lot of time, if we pop that bubble, we're disowned, and we suffer. A lot of young people suffered from rejection,
and the byproducts of that sometimes puts you in a worse position, like, because it's hard to recover.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And I want to speak to the two words that you used in that question. So I want to speak to the protection piece. Historically, the church has been that moral compass for the Haitian people, right?
Yeah.
And so growing up, their biggest pride, right, is to know that they're walking in piety. Right?
Yeah.
They're walking in godliness. They're following these rules, and God is pleased with them.
Yes.
And they want to make sure that we, as their children and the next generation, they are also walking according to these rules and regulations. And so that brings them some sort of a satisfaction, or it brings them some sort of, standard or level in society, because everybody is walking according to these rules and regulations. So it brings some level of pride, right, to our people, because we are so religious, right? But then it gets to a point where religion is mixed into tradition and culture, and there's no point of demarcation. There's no way to identify, okay, this is church, this is doctrine versus culture or versus preference.
Yes.
Okay?
That's a big one too.
So now we have ourselves taking our own small C. So there's the big C, which is culture as a Haitian group.
Yeah.
But then there's the small C as in culture within our four walls
Yeah.
of our church.
Right.
So now we're imposing preference as doctrine.
Yeah.
We're imposing preference as biblical. We are now taking certain scriptures out of context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now when we do that, we're starting to build resentment in the hearts of the younger generation because we're telling them not to do something because this
Yes.
is what the church says, or if pastor so-and-so sees you, you know, how am I
Never
going to feel
mind,
about
God
it?
already see you.
Yeah. No, it doesn't even go there.
It's the jacket that Lord.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. So now it's that protection piece that now bleeds into the policing, and so it's hard to kind of figure out where to draw that line.
Yeah.
Because we start feeling like we're being policed.
Yes.
Right. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? Whereas it should honestly just be, okay, this is what Scripture is saying concerning modesty.
Yeah.
You know, now how do we relate modesty to us?
Right.
Because modesty to somebody in Zimbabwe or somebody in Egypt or somebody else in
It's
Syria,
not gonna look the same.
it's not going to look the same.
To some, it's a mumu.
Yeah.
To me, it's,
Yeah.
you know,
It's right. It's a suit. Or to some, their modesty is a nice is a t-shirt and a pair of jeans.
That's it.
And shorts.
and they still look good.
And they still, but we're able to say now that it
Right.
still looks good. But
Right.
for our people, there's a particular
Yeah.
standard. Now, even if we're going, and I'm gonna close here, but please jump in. But even when it goes to, we're talking about the Haitian culture, right?
Yes.
But if you're looking at other cultures who are also religious, who are also biblical,
Yeah.
now we're looking to them, even though God is clearly using them to
Yeah.
a certain extent, we're now looking to them and saying, oh, this person is powerful. Oh, they're
Right.
powerful avec tout,
With
you
their
know,
pants on.
With
what
all
they
of
do,
that on.
what they wearing.
But then when you flip,
With the
when the
jewelry
camera
on.
turns to our own, who are dressed similar or not,
And
it's
this
not
is
the
where
same
I feel like
response.
going with hypocrisy, and I don't mean that in an offensive way, but like the reason why like the word police is important is because the idea of protection is that, like, for example, the police, if the actual police, if they arrest you, right, even in a position of being arrested, you're in the wrong, they arrested you, your well-being is still their responsibility.
Yeah.
They're still required to protect you even though you are wrong.
Yeah.
You're in the position of being wrong versus what we've seen. And there's so many things. I think I was speaking to you about this last year. There was a lot of different events that happened in the Haitian community that did have like a church accent. Like, there was a young lady who her nudes were leaked or whatever, and it went viral. Like, people made jokes about it, people made songs about it, people were sending. I mean, like, what's up this show? It's sending this girl's private videos everywhere. Granted, obviously, the action that was happening in the videos, as Christians, maybe we don't condone them, but where was the protection for that woman? And the reason why I say that is because people are on pulpits preaching about this girl. The daughter in the church you should be protecting.
How about the other young lady around that same time?
Yes.
Who is a artist, a musical artist,
Yes.
and she's the daughter of a deaconess or a pastor,
Yes.
I believe. And that same, basically
Yeah.
her mother, was bashing her on stage.
Yeah.
I saw that one. You know,
So why do they, even in a position that you might deem as wrong, why are they not protected?
Yes.
And as the church, maybe culturally, in our culture, things can be a little bit harsh. Okay, well, if she wanted to be protected, that's how she would have acted. Since when did your love or protection was limited by just simply the way that you act?
you say something, and that's exactly what I was going to come to. It's a lack of love. You know, love covers.
Yes.
Love covers. And what people don't understand is that we push our own out
Yeah.
into the world instead of bringing those in the world to us by doing exactly what these people do. There's one of the videos, I believe it's the one you mentioned. Someone sent it to me, and I said, why are we sharing this? Why are we sharing this?
That's all it. Why?
I said it stops with me. I don't care for other people, but I won't share this. This actually bring pain to my heart.
Right.
To just watch this, and we need to be a covering. We have to also understand there is a lack of understanding when it comes to the Haitian community with what is protection and what is the policing. What is protection? A lot of them don't understand what that is either. And now you have that generation that came from Haiti and they come here into America. They come to America.
Yeah.
And that culture is coming into the American culture, and it creates something.
Yeah,
you are born here, and now your parents is expecting you. They were born in Haiti. They come with their own. You were born here.
So you have a set of expectations.
You have a set of expectation, and all of a sudden, they want you to leave that same culture they came from while you're living in a different world. Going to school with other kids, hearing things, seeing their parents doing certain things.
You're finding out, that's not normal.
And
everybody didn't do that.
These kids are, they're allowed to go to the movies. They're allowed. Their parents just drop them. I know somebody that was like 26 years old. Her parents decided to go to the movies with her on a date. They entered. No joke. But at the end of the day, it's true.
Like she was the one going on the date.
Yes.
And her parents are
so you allowed it.
Yes. So,
if my parents I'm not going no more.
So honestly, for me,
don't come with
for me, what a lot of the Haitian parents or the leaders in church, in the Haitian church, consider as I'm protecting you, it's really not protecting. It's actually you being a police. That's how I feel. That's how I see it.
Because the other party, and that's where you can tell the difference. The other party is protected. To this day, we still don't know the boy who dropped them videos. We might know it, and then the one that they said allegedly leaked them.
They get away with that anyway.
Everybody made every excuse in the world. Okay, it was wrong. He should have never done that. But I understand because why are you making excuses?
Why are you saying you understand?
You can empathize with him,
yes,
but you can't empathize with her and
exactly. Exactly.
Like, you might not have kids yet. Like you might not be thinking about it long term, but like one day you'll have a daughter. She's not always going to make a choice that you want her to make.
They're always quick to blame the
parents, though. And so that could be where the policing comes from. Like, okay, well, if this person, but like even within the church, if, God forbid somebody was pregnant as a teenager, they don't have no friends no more. Every parents are going to go get their kid.
Yeah.
And again, like, where's the protection for her? Where is the part of protection is education. Some girls probably don't even know what's wrong with her.
Yeah.
Okay, what is pregnancy? Because not every Haitian household discusses stuff like that. So, like, that part of protection is maybe peut-être lui tomber dans une situation ça because she had no idea what she was getting into until she got, it happens.
If I may say, someone really close to me. And I know when she watched this, she's going to laugh so much about me talking about that. She was with a bunch of older women talking, family members. And they started talking about pencil, She wanted to know. They wouldn't tell her. So she went and she asked her boyfriend what that was.
I could show you, baby.
She got pregnant.
Mercy.
Okay, well.
That's how she got pregnant.
Oh, he didn't just show her. He showed
her.
Okay, show and tell.
Yes. Yeah. And she got pregnant. There was no deep things going on. Just that. She got pregnant. Yeah, she got pregnant just like that. But if there was, just open communication and she could have went to her parents or, they could have told her, she wouldn't have to go and ask him.
Right.
And if they educated her also about certain things, maybe she wouldn't get pregnant that way.
Right. So I'm like, it turns around and like hurts us in so many different ways because now this person might have fell in a situation because they didn't know.
Yeah.
And we're talking about pregnancy, but there are worse things that's happened to people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that once the people in the church found out so-and-so was SA'd or so-and-so was, they caught her doing this or that, we're not going to ask her how it happened or what situation transpired that put her in that position.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, okay, well, we don't want our daughters to be in it, so we're just going to pull, where's the protection for both parties? So let's talk a little bit about where we are now. So do we believe that women in the Haitian church, daughters in the Haitian church, are we more empowered today, or are we just more visible?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometimes they're perceived the same way. So are just people seeing us more, or are we more empowered?
Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful question. I think that I think there's empowerment in the visibility.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because in the hidden places, that kind of showed that we didn't necessarily have a voice. Our circumstances were not always understood. And from what it is that we've just shared, a lot of what we went through ended up having to be hidden.
Yeah.
Not by choice, but by force.
Yeah.
You understand? And so I think that there is empowerment in the visibility, because now we're starting to be able to come into ourselves. I had the fortunate opportunity to be raised by parents who really empowered me, you know? So I don't necessarily relate, unfortunately, with that lack per se, because my father...
Well, fortunately, yeah.
Well, yes, fortunately, because my father, I've seen how my father empowered my mother. I've seen how my grandmothers were very much so empowered. And in that empowerment, I never once saw them lack softness necessarily. However, what concerns me is, yes, there may be that empowerment, but how, I might get in trouble. There may be that empowerment, but how honest have we truly been given permission to be?
And that is a huge...
You see what I'm saying?
Huge question.
Because even if I'm saying empowerment and visibility, there isn't truly transparency. You see what I'm saying? And so I think the real question is, how transparent have we been able to be now that we are empowered or visible? How much are we truly allowed to say?
Yeah. That's a great
even
point.
by you saying this, you hesitated.
You see what I'm saying? Because I know it's going to be spicy. And I know that if we really go there, we'll start to realize that we're still in the same place as before. The three of us right here, right now, is already an incredible, canvas to show that there is empowerment, one.
There is empowerment.
And that we have decided to take on visibility.
Yes.
Two. Right. And now we are challenging ourselves to be transparent.
Yeah.
Right. And even in this transparency, because I think in the list of questions all the way at the bottom, you were like, we may not talk about some of these because it might be a little spicy. Because we're still trying to protect how others will perceive what we're getting ready to say, or how the backlash might be if we truly are honest.
Yeah.
So let's really be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of us decided that we wanted to be visible because we were tired of being held back.
Yeah.
We were tired of having to protect our own stories.
Yeah.
What if I was raped? What if I was misunderstood?
Yeah.
What if I was in an abusive relationship in the church with somebody who was seen, respected, honored?
Probably still.
And probably
seen,
is still seen, respected, and honored. And I can't say this man did this to me. Or I can't say, I'm sorry, my church leadership did not step up for me when I needed to be, because they don't believe
Especially as a young woman.
And then I'm not even saying church leadership, because that's going really far. How about right here in my house, I'm going through these things and I'm telling those closest to me and they don't believe me. So how can I truly put confidence and trust in an institution that is supposed to, according to scripture, cover me, love me, protect me, heal me, speak life into me, and tell me that I can be restored. Just like the woman at the well. Jesus didn't bash her. As a matter of fact, Jesus said, I know your pain because I know that you have many other men who are not really your husbands anyway. But and then he continues to say, I have the water you're looking for, because I know it's not really about your scandalous relationships. I know it's not really about the divorce. There's a deeper issue. Are we really willing?
Avoid. He gave her something, that water, to fill that void. That's why she followed him.
Said avoid. That's good too.
I mean,
that's a nice word. That's a nice word.
He was saying, I know this, I know that. It was that void she had that would cause her to do all these things.
So
she was trying to avoid,
but she's avoiding. She's avoiding the void.
See what we did there? See what we did there?
You see that? So could that be what we're navigating right now?
But in a lot of ways, even that visibility is a way to avoid whatever void is happening.
And let me tell you, I would say within the last 2 or 3 years or so, I think and I'm going to be honest, and I know that there are other women, millennials like myself, who will relate to what I'm about to say. I think it's only been in the last 2 or 3 years that I've actually realized that I need to take the time to learn who I am.
Whew. All right.
Transparency.
Transparency. Because I want to challenge it. Yes. I am free now, but that freedom costed me, Valerie.
Come on.
I have cried. I have screamed. I can't tell you how much I've had to expel.
To purge.
In order for me to find my contentment, we were talking about this off air, I had to find and I'm not saying that my parents didn't help me. I'm not saying that they didn't prepare me spiritually. I'm not saying that I didn't go through school and pass my classes and do other things.
But this society, that's something you have to do alone.
That's right.
But how are we to know that? How are we to know that if we're not given the space to say, you can now go and just make your mistakes, go discover yourself. And if you need instruction, we're always here. There are many women, really, truly, who are still subjecting themselves and accepting all of this misogyny because that's all they know.
Well, I believe the empowerment and the invisibility will come because they're both important, you know, and it's as if one feed off of the other. We have an identity crisis within our community, and that's why now a lot of the young people within the church, in their household, they are beginning to discover that they are not that was pictured or that was designed for them. And they are becoming to know who they are. And that gives them a sense of empowerment. And by doing that, they feel like, okay, I need to be seen so we can help others and empower others. You know, you said something that was very, very important. And you actually went so deep by saying 3 years ago, you know, you just started 3 years ago to discover who you are. Imagine there are some that still have not discovered who they are. And it's very important when anyone that came close to me, especially young people, I love to uplift them and help them to understand who they are. And by knowing who they are, by identifying who they are, not who their mother is, their father is. And a lot of time, when your father is a respectful person within the community, when they see you, they tend to not see you. But
see you in the shadow of your father.
The shadow of your father. You know?
So you have to work twice or 3 or 4 times as hard.
You'll be known as the pastor's child. The pastor's wife. Madam Pastor. You know? And and allow me to say this, a lot of men within the Haitian community don't understand how to allow the woman to be who they are called to be, while still respect and follow them.
Because that's like a church standard. Like, it's not always packaged that way, depending on the church you're in. But the package overall is like not perceiving that woman as an individual. She is a piece of. I remember speaking to somebody that was a young man. If you're watching, praise the Lord. We will never speak again. And let me explain to you why. Because in his frame of understanding, I like to, as much as I like to talk in a situation where I'm getting to know someone, a young gentleman, I'll shut up. Because you learn more that way than when you talk.
Definitely.
And just letting him talk about how he sees life and what his vision is for where he's going and his philosophy in how our roles, how we work together. It was more like the woman, whoever she is a piece, or I hate to use the word, but a pawn in the overall tapestry of his self-development. So she just has to come in. She needs to play these specific roles. And in order for me to move forward in what I'm supposed to be doing, I was like, okay, well, where does she fit in?
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't. Like, she does, but, like, this is what she's supposed to do.
Her service
and if she doesn't
fit in.
have the understanding that this is her role, then she just is not performing.
No, she gonna perform
accordingly.
He want the performance. He just want it, in the bedroom.
That's it.
He want to be able to continue to live that trophy life, and he can come home to his trophy wife that
and
he can
that
just perform.
The yes woman,
but not the
person that just
not the one that has her own ideas.
Yes, sir.
Or that maybe even wants
or
to
speaks her mind.
And I think that's another big thing about the visibility that I can transparently say that was something that scared and sometimes still scares me. Sometimes I wonder, do I go head first and fully be everything that I need that I feel like because there's that restraint there. Like, I feel like, and Prophetess, you could speak to that because like you've like been there, but like there's that restraint of, I know how extra I am and how much I could do and all the things that I have vision to do. But now, if I do them, will the price of my obedience be that some man is going to look at me and say, you're doing way too much.
You're too much.
Like,
too powerful.
I cannot.
You will cover me. You're too powerful. I've
had someone say exactly that to me.
My God.
And obviously, I know that. And that's where it's a little bit of a tug, because do you want to be with somebody that doesn't understand, that we're not in competition,
right.
But how long am I going to, like, maybe I should just play nice and fit into this
just
basket.
Fit it all in.
No,
and, wait till
That's when you're miserable.
Wait till you have the church permission. Okay, we'll get married, kunya. There are things you can do and people won't look at you sideways, except for the fact that now that you are a wife, here are all your requirements.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's a price of that visibility too, because you're like, dang, will somebody see this and be like, oh no, like I'm not trying to do all that, or that's a little too much for me to carry, or not even carry that I don't have. They won't say I don't have the capacity to cover, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
They might not feel like I don't want to be responsible for you, or you just don't have the capacity to cover. And somehow,
if you don't, you're not for me.
Right.
If you
but
don't,
I feel like even that we've been framed to feel like that's our fault. Well, dang, I should have just.
The blame.
I shouldn't have done so much because now I'm scaring people away, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But then you're never truly happy or never truly fulfilled in what you're doing because you could do more.
That's right. Yeah, that's sensitive right there. That's really sensitive right there. And honestly, I can say that the word submissiveness, many do not understand what that is.
That's a big talk about that, because that's a big, I ain't gonna lie.
And people think it's to just lay down and let people walk all over you. No, it can't be this way. You can still be submissive and walk in the purpose that God has for you. Like I said, identity. You just need to know who you are as a woman. You just need to, understand certain things. When you know who you are, submissiveness is nothing. As a matter of fact, it can be a weapon. You know what I'm saying? If you really know who you are. When you know who you are, you won't be too much for someone, and you won't belittle what's in you either.
Yeah.
You will actually do what you're supposed to do. Okay? And there's so much I could say about this. But I'm going to let you say something.
Thank you so much. I love what you said. I believe there has to be a level of knowing and self-awareness. And then, I'm sorry, I might sound redundant, but it goes back to that word for me. It goes back to contentment. I believe that there is a point in time. We could sit here and point out all the things that are done against us by our societies, by our churches, and even by ourselves. I want to even take it a step further and challenge us to start flipping the script and say, okay, what will it take for me to change my perspective about myself? To forgive them for what they projected on me. To forgive myself for accepting that projection. And accepting that identity and accepting that role. What will it take now for me to go to the cross and say, Christ, I took on the armor of Saul instead of taking the time to embrace the shepherd cloth that you gave me. I don't have to be like everybody else. I don't have to show up like society says. And I don't have to belittle who it is that I am because someone else says that it's not going to be enough.
Right.
It might be everyone's fight, but it's my battle style. This is the way that you have created me. And I actually was sharing this with a good friend of mine who's also my therapist in my head. He
in her head.
We all go. I love him to life. If he watches this, he'll know who I'm talking about. I love my brother. I was sharing this with him, and I was like, sometimes I feel like there was a time at the time, I was like, I feel like I'm being too much. And he was like, absolutely not. He said, the right man.
That's right. That's it, right there.
You feel where I'm going at?
Right. That's it.
He said, the right man will see you. And he will be okay with stepping back and pushing you forward.
That's it.
Because he knows his greatest strength is being able to cultivate you so he could and lift you up. That's the Ephesians 5 man. The scripture says that he, I believe it says it this way. It says that he will represent his wife unto himself. In other words, he polishes her, he shapes her, he empowers her, he encourages her, he cultivates her, he covers her. And every time he does it, he turns her around and he steps back so he could look at what he did.
Guess who they see when they see that woman?
They see themselves.
They see themselves, and people see him.
And people see him. And this is why God, and it goes back to how God was the relationship he had with his creation. Scripture says in Genesis 1 that he did all that he did, and every time he did something every day, what was his final confession?
It was good.
And it was good. He looked back at what he made, and he said it was good.
That's right.
I'm believing that my man is going to look back at me all the time, okay?
That's right.
Figuratively and, literally. And say, that's mine. So I've had to reprogram my thought process.
That's the word.
I had to
literally the direction that we're going.
I'm telling you.
Is that you can expand on that.
I'm telling you that I had to start reprogramming my mind to start thinking the person that's for me will not only see who it is that I am now, but he'll speak to the person that I can still yet become. Because who I am now is what I ended up having to do to get myself there.
You don't
It's
have to
what
hide who you are with that person.
No, there were so many investments made for me to be who it is that I am now. But when he sees me, he'll be able to see more of what needs to be done.
Because he's coming from a different perception.
He's coming from the perspective of husbandry.
Yeah,
That's it.
And the true definition of husbandry is synonymous to a farmer.
Yeah. They cultivate.
They cultivate.
Yeah.
That's what he will see. Baby, cultivate.
Yeah.
I was about to sing that Haitian copa, so there's a Sorry, but you can. I'm so serious. If you water me properly, I will blossom.
Yeah,
you'll
so
grow.
I'm realizing I don't have to accept or feel like this storyline is my narrative.
Right.
You don't have to box who you
not
are.
have to box
It's not
myself
your
anymore.
And if you happen to veer off, if you stumble, if you go
can come
off
back.
script,
You can come back.
You're not condemned to the off. Like, you're not now disqualified from.
No.
And I think that's like a big picture that's like kind of segueing us into the next question. In our unique journeys as women, and like understanding that reprogramming, that process, right, that God kind of re-instructs you throughout sometimes the experiences that you have in your life, or those walls he lets you hit, you know, still sometimes we're left with that fear of like, okay, I don't know if I can't talk about my divorce. I can't talk about my child abuse. I can't talk about being sexually assaulted. I can't talk about depression. I can't talk about these things because I'll be perceived as whatever. When like the health and I think the longevity of our church in the future, when we look at Haitian church in 15 years, 20 years, 40 years, is kind of contingent on voices speaking up, because the picture of our society today, of what as a teacher, you understand that when you have children, when you speak to them, what we're hearing in our culture, and many of our churches is not speaking to that. But it's not because the knowledge is not there. It's not because the experience is not there. Right. It's not because like that inspiration, the oil that's been cultivated from all these crushing experiences is not there. It's because, especially as women, we're afraid of perception. So like that's why I really liked when you brought up like reprogramming your mind, because I think sometimes there are people who are waiting for the permission to do that.
Yeah. Well, you have permission now.
Do that.
Yeah. Who are you waiting for? Who's gonna give you the permission?
Sometimes it's you're wanting it to come from somebody else, but the reality is,
which will never come.
You will. You can, but even if it did, you could sit with them and be like, "I give you the permission."
It's still the same thing.
Yes, you have to.
It's still the same thing where we're expecting it to come from someone, because that's what we're used to. We're used to being told what to do, how to go about it. So you have to get up and realize that, okay, I need to do this.
Yes.
And if you're someone listening to this today, and you're still in that category of those that are waiting to be told or waiting for that permission, that's it. Like she said, that's it. This is your permission.
If anything, it's a confirmation. God has already given you that permission. He's already reframing your brain. And I feel like, at least for me, which we'll talk about like in later episodes, the idea of failure. Like, I was like, God, why do you make me take somebody else? Like, it can't just be me. I can't be the one, like just, why am I on the list every year? Like, let me get a W one time. But it was honestly through those consistent flops, failures, mistakes, all of those things that I built like a different perspective on life that I did not have going in. Ooh. Because going in, I felt like, okay, I need these wins because I cannot mess up. People are counting on me. People are looking up to me. I don't want people talking about my parents. I don't want to be. I'm like the teen baby of I'm the baby that made my parents get married. So everybody looking at me like, "What you about to do?" And all of that pressure was causing, like, none of those things or those doors that God were opening or whatever he was doing in my life, I couldn't perceive them. They were never enough, because I'm like, okay, now, this will make me feel like I'm doing a good job, or that I'm, worth it, or that I'm not, a mistake, or that I'm not this. And it's never going to be enough. So I needed to understand that even in like our piety, even in purity, there are people who use those things as like ways to, especially in church politics, ways to like separate themselves from other women who have maybe made certain mistakes that are public. And I don't carry myself that way, or I'm not that kind of person, or I'm not that kind of this. And in different situations, it took for me to hit rock bottom, for God to be like, and you're here, and I still love you.
And also, it's through these things that you can help others.
Yeah.
Jesus made the ultimate sacrifice for us.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you read through the Bible, there are things that a lot of people going through today, you didn't see Jesus did it. So he chose you as God chose him.
Yeah.
He chose you. And I tell people we are a bunch of chosen ones. The chosen ones, they go through the deep, deep, deep sorrow. They experience it.
Yeah.
And it's because of that today. I told someone recently, I said, how do people get upset with others that are loud? I am not a loud person, although I do get loud around my family. My sister's like, which is so loud. But I'm not a loud person in public or anything like that. But there are people that are loud, and they categorize them as ghetto. They say, oh, she's so ghetto.
Yeah.
And they expect these people to become quiet. But there's a group of people that can relate to that loud person. That's why you went through what you went through.
Yeah.
The failures, they have taught you wisdom and discernment through betrayal.
Yeah.
You've learned discernment through betrayal. And today, you're sitting here today, we're all sitting here today talking about it because we've been through it. And we've been chosen to go and get the others that are still experiencing it. That's still going through it. So there's a reason. There's always a reason why we go through these things. It's not for us. Jesus didn't die for him. He died for us. And we went through these things for others. So.
And I love the point that you made. Here's an angle that I also saw in what you said. You said Jesus himself did not sin, right? The scripture says that he knew no sin. But he had an eye for those who were bound by sin.
Yes.
And what was his posture towards them?
Cast the first stone.
Right. And the thing is, it was us whom he came to save that said we wanted to condemn the other. But Christ, who knew no sin, he should have been the one saying cast the stone. But he didn't. He said, if you don't have a reason to, then keep on throwing stones.
Most of the people pointing fingers are doing worse.
They are.
And so what I want to bring to the table is, if Jesus, who knew no sin, could see
did not condemn
those who are broken and not condemn, and understand that those who may be condemning are also broken.
Yeah.
Right? For us, why, rather than completely turn away and reject all that is gospel, why not turn back to the one who has always seen us?
Yeah.
And I think that's also the redemption that I see in Rahab.
Yes.
In all of the different scenarios that we just talked about here, I'm seeing Rahab. Rahab was casted away. Rahab was the other chick. You know what I'm saying? She was the mistress, right? And then she was the side piece. And then she started feeling some type of way about herself because she was the one that gave Abraham a baby. You know what I'm saying? And so Sarah started to feel some type of way. Sarah was the one that made sister girl do the thing. Hagar, sorry.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about Rahab too. I was thinking about both of them, but thank you. Hagar, on the other hand, she started feeling some type of way. And then all of a sudden, she ends up being casted out of the home. And the scripture says, the person he...
Girl, what's wrong with Sarah?
Scandalous story.
What's wrong with you?
But then, to redeem her. Even though she was the side chick, she did have the baby outside with Abraham.
She did.
Yeah.
But God, just as he revealed himself to Sarah, he still revealed himself to Hagar.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if you feel like you can't give yourself
to Hagar before he ever did to Sarah. On the timeline, right?
No. He revealed himself to Sarah. He told Sarah, "You will have a child."
Yeah.
But Sarah started to feel a little bit impatient. She felt like it wasn't happening.
She pushed towards Abraham.
Yes, for them to get together.
Yeah.
But even then, God still revealed himself. I know, scandalous. But God still revealed himself to Hagar. And I'm like, friend, you could be all of the things that happened. And you might be thinking, oh, I need permission to get this. God seeing you is already permission.
Yeah.
You may never get the apology. You may never get that clean slate from society or anybody else.
That restitution.
You may never get that restitution.
You may never get it.
It may never
It's
happen.
courageous.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is courageous for you to make the decision for yourself.
That's right.
To say, I'm going to come out of it for me.
Yeah.
Because those types of people are usually the ones who do for everyone else
Yeah.
and will gladly
Because
exclude
they
themselves
understand.
out of the
They
formula.
understand what it feels like.
But tonight or today or whenever, whoever's listening to this is your permission that God is saying, I still see you in this. That's the redemption story. Now, I ain't going to hold you. I know we're gospel, we're believers and all the things. We always going to tie it back to what scripture says. Now, if we were to say systematically and practically, how do I give myself permission? Yes, it's going to be hard, but it takes a step at a time.
It does.
What did that look like for me? It looks like me taking my car, going by the beach and sitting there and just sitting in my thoughts.
Yeah. Giving yourself the okay to think these thoughts.
Yeah, let it flow through you. However it comes, let it come. Because the issue is we've been trying to cover it up all of these years because they were policing and trying to protect us. After a while, we started policing and protecting ourselves.
Yeah.
What is our internal dialogue
you're
like?
going to be a product of your childhood.
Oh,
If my internal, I'm still working on healing that. Because there are certain things
process.
that I'm saying to that I would say to myself, I'll be like, that
would I
is
say
not
this to
me.
somebody else?
Yeah, I would never say that to someone else. Or I would never talk about that other person the way I'm talking about myself. And that's really important that we picking up on that.
I don't remember which. I know that there's Psalm 34, and then I don't remember where this other one is, where it says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. But in 34, it starts off with David talking about people who have been talking bad about him, bashing him, and all the things, right? And then he's like, God, why are they doing this?
Yeah.
How could they say this about me? They're lying on me. They're making stories about me. They're going behind my back and saying that they want my spot.
Yeah.
And he's like, how is this? He was like, they could all die.
Yes.
Okay? Kill them all.
Yeah.
I don't care.
David was fed up.
He was mad.
He was done.
And I think he was done. And I think that was like the first 6 verses. And then immediately after verse 6, it says, Selah. So in other words, after he went through that entire rant of all that hurt and taking on all of that pain and all that anger, he was real with God. He was honest with God.
Real.
He let it out.
Real.
He could pause.
Face it. Deal with it.
I feel like you could preach on that. I felt the anointing when you said that.
No, you have to deal with it. A lot of us trying to push it under the rug
You can't.
instead of
It gets
dealing with it.
worse.
And then 10 years down the line,
It resurfaces.
because they never go away until you deal with it.
Yeah.
Hello?
It pops up in different
Oh, it sure does.
ways. You're going to see it in different aspects of your life. I know a big question surrounding even as single women, they always tell you, okay, well, you have to ask yourself why you're attracting these type of guys. And I used to be like, shut up. No, that. But honestly, when you think about it, sometimes what's in you is going to show up.
Yeah.
in so many other
They
places.
don't like to use the word, but it's an energy.
Yes.
It really is.
I
It's
think
the aura.
that
vibe.
person that comes
It's
into
there.
your life, I
It's a
know
vibe. It's a
vibe.
it is, but literally, I think like I know like when my parents talk about each other, they're a mirror to what the other person.
Yeah.
So oftentimes we're not happy with what the choices we might be getting because they're reflecting things that we have not worked on.
Yes.
So we're perceiving.
Yes.
We want to see something else. We try to see something different, but we're just seeing.
But we're looking through the same lens.
Exactly.
That's it.
How can you see something different if you still have the same vision?
You can't.
Which goes
Yeah.
back to what we said earlier.
Yeah.
The
the
reprogramming.
reprogramming?
Yeah.
And be okay with stepping out of your usual environment.
Yes.
Lord.
We're so used to it, to this
But that's what, it
habitat.
becomes a prison
Yes.
in a sense when you're just stuck. Okay,
And-
te gustando te confere, te gustando tu sufre.
Yeah, because we've been
You're
in it
stuck
for
here.
so long, we get so used to it.
Yeah.
It's like, frogs.
Yes.
You put them in whatever temperature. It takes time. They
Yeah.
move, and then they adjust
They
to the
adjust.
temperature.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what it is. At first, when you choose, you can't think differently if you are exposed to the same thing all the time, all the
Yes.
time, all the time. And I think one of the things that, if somebody viewing this or listening to this, if they are still in that situation where they find themselves stuck or
Yeah.
in prison, it's okay to listen to a different voice. It's okay
Yes.
to visit someone. It's okay to go for therapy. I know they say if you have Jesus, you can't go to therapy.
It's Christian therapists.
That's where you talk about it.
Go.
Because the pastor prays for you. The jack, encourage you.
Yeah.
But the therapist goes back with you.
Right.
Let's go back. Let's see why this is going on.
And I'll even
Let's look
submit
at the
that
Let's look at it.
I'll even submit that the prayer that you do get is not the end of deliverance, it's the beginning. The prayer is the ignition point.
Yes.
Now that I have been,
reveals.
this is exposed,
It's exposed.
and
That's
we're
right.
uprooting it spiritually.
Yes.
I still need
Put in
to
the work.
put in practical steps to maintain whatever I was just delivered from, which is where the work begins, honestly. So that's like a really good point. So I guess in that same frame of mind, looking forward, what church do you hope that the daughters coming inherit? What church would that look like in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years? What church do we hope that the next generation of daughters comes into?
Well, it goes back to the beginning. A church where instead of policing, there's protection.
Yeah.
Not protection according to what the Haitian culture is used to, but protection as in we're going to love. We're going to love, and through love, that's going to bring healing. That's going to bring, instead of pushing others out, instead of judging, condemning, we're going to do like Jesus. We all sin. And if we don't cast the first stone, and in 20, 40 years, I'm actually really praying that things change, that people are empowered and it's okay to speak your mind. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to expose certain things that are going on, because when you expose a sickness, then you can find a cure for it, not to keep things secret.
Yeah.
And stuff. So I'm expecting and I'm praying for a better church, a better community.
Yeah.
And for us to know, and the younger generation to know that it's okay to be you. Find out who you are, not what they told you to be, not what they taught you to be. Find out who you really are.
Yeah.
And if they can do that in 20, 40 years, things will be very different.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to talk about something that you have on the inside of you, where we just come all together and pray about it instead of going gossip about it.
Yeah.
Let's make it okay.
Yeah.
I would say, first off, every church has its flaws.
Yeah.
every culture has its inconsistencies. So it's not enough to just walk away.
That's deep.
We must have a plan for the transition.
Yeah.
And in making a plan for the transition, we say to ourselves, I will go for a while. But when I come back, who will I be?
Yeah.
When Jacob got the chance to see his brother again, he knew that he had to come correct because Esau wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
Many of us were afraid to go back to the places that abused us because we're concerned that we're going to go back to a worse stage than we were in before.
Yeah.
But there's going to come a time where you will have to return to the place of the abuse so that you can face it. But you won't be coming back as a victim. You'll be coming back as a victor. And your perspective will be different. Your expression will be different. The other thing I would say is, now that we have come to this place to shed a light on this brokenness, the next step for us is to not just hope for what the church will be in 20 years, but to begin laying a foundation for what that will look like.
Yeah.
Anything we desire to see in the future, we have the power to lay a foundation for now.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I'm studying right now is the scripture that says, any man that is going to build a tower, shouldn't he first count the cost before he builds it?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he first consider the supplies he will need to build it?
Yeah.
How long will it take me to build this tower? So let me ask you this. We desire to hope for a better church. What will it take? How many bricks of healing and restoration will we have to lay down? What investment will we need to make in our emotional wellness, our spiritual wellness, our mental wholeness? What investment will it take? And my challenge to me and to you would be to make the investment.
Yeah.
From that point, then we can say, I am starting to build that amazing church tower.
Yeah.
Now, by laying my brick, by healing me.
Yeah.
And then as I help someone else see where they are, they will be the next brick. We are now the bricks to build that church that we're hoping for.
Yeah.
It no longer has to be a hope. It can now be a vision that we know for sure will be established. But we have to start with us first.
Yeah.
Jacob found God and went back.
Exactly.
Identity. We will never know who we are until we know who Christ is.
Yeah. But
You
for
have
yourself,
to, you
not
have
through the lens
to
of what
search the
you
word on your own and find God on your own.
Yeah.
And he'll reveal to you who you really are. And I believe by holding this instruction in the Bible, not what someone teach you, that's important too. They help you. But it's time that we really, or the generation really find God
Take
for
ownership
themselves.
of that.
Yes, through scripture. And I believe that's a good start for them. That's the foundation for them.
Yeah. I think it begins with things like this. Like, maybe it's not recorded, maybe you're not watching it, but conversations like this. And I think people get caught up in the idea of it being some huge, like, social upheaval, huge movement of, like, just amazing things happen. But even those movements started with a conversation. It started with a couple people
Calculating the cost.
Yes. It started with just a few people like, okay, oh, you're going through this, I'm going through this too. I know my neighbor is going through this, let me bring her next time. My sister's gone through this, let me bring her next time. Some people at my job were talking about this, let me bring them next time. And then these things change. Of course, they have opposition, like anything does. But I think that, like, creating that safety, because I feel like, at least for me, when I think about the Haitian church in 20 years, I think of a place that's safer. and not just for one archetype of woman, for every woman. And even in creating that safety starts with a few, or even just you. You know, not participating in tearing down a woman for her choices.
I think that safety also challenge our brothers.
Yeah.
Challenge our brothers to understand it, not necessarily put a blame on our brothers.
Oh, like beat them.
Because we are all a product of what we've come from. And what we've been exposed to.
Yeah, but I'm gonna beat you.
But we can. No, sis, don't say that. That's why I just said don't beat them.
Yes.
I just said that. I said you could challenge them.
Some of us are,
you
know, Johns, and some of us are Peters.
And I also wanted to say, you said right. You said conversation, and I didn't want to forget this. I think the conversation also warrants me coming to a place to hear from my sister when she says to me, sis, I understand you, but that wasn't right.
Right.
Accountability.
That accountability is heavy amongst us now as sisters. Because it's almost as if we're allowing, and I don't mean to open up another topic, but I want to carry this notion where it's like we're giving a pass
to certain things
because of pain.
Yeah.
Because of, what's the word I want to use? Because of communal pain, I guess is what I want to say. And so it's like, oh, you know, I'm not saying, oh, it's okay, but my actions in not addressing it condones it.
Yeah.
And so coming to a place where we can
hold each other accountable, but
accept
in
the
a
accountability
safety,
in a safe place.
Safe way. But I think, again, it's healthy conversations because
not conversations just in front of a camera.
Right.
One-on-one. Go out to a brunch.
Right.
Host these moments where it's just you and your sister and say, okay, girl, let's talk about this.
Right.
Like, for real, for real.
I totally get where you're coming from, but you didn't have to cut that man tires.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm being so serious with you because sometimes you like, I'm not going to lie to you. Do I understand the mental process that you were in when you punched him in the face? I do. I want you to look at me and I tell you that. He did.
He did.
Yeah.
But we don't want to go back to jail. Do we?
Like that.
We could do it.
Do you want to go back to jail?
Way,
you don't want to go back to jail, so let's not do that again.
Yeah.
But I feel like that is, again, a healthy conversation. It's a disarming conversation. Because I'm not telling you I don't get you. I'm not telling you that I'm a different woman than you. Well, I would never do
That's
that.
a true sister and a real friend right there. That would tell you
I see you. I'm right where you're at. I understand why this happened, but I love you, so I'm not going to let you just, you know, be crazy or whatever.
Yeah,
but
that's right. I'm my sister's keeper.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like I struggled with that for a long time because I feel like I am aware of the situations where I wasn't. So then I felt like I didn't deserve to say it anymore. But I think, you know, especially hearing the conversation around, you know, it's got me thinking that, you know what, like even that, there's a journey in that and understanding where you went wrong.
That's right.
Holding yourself accountable for what you did or didn't do, you know, in some cases, and moving forward so we can all, you know, keep each other.
That's it. It's we can say you did it wrong. We accept it. I still love you though.
Yeah.
You know, and end up still being who we are to each other. We don't have to have a space or we don't have to get upset or the relationship doesn't have to end just because I tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, ladies, I mean, we ain't run out of things to say, but I think that we're at a good place to pause and, you know, you guys can keep the conversation going in the comments. Send your emails or your submissions, your stories, because we definitely want to hear them. All the information is below. Where you can find these ladies will be provided on the screen as well as in the caption below. Do you guys have any final words?
It was a pleasure. You know, and we welcome any questions at the end of the day. And also, if you are one of those struggling with anything, just know that you can feel like you hit rock bottom, but you don't have to stay there. You can always rise back up. Okay, and do it the right way. Speak up.
Yeah, I love that. And I would also say, sis, listen, you don't have to suffer in silence. And whatever it is that you're suffering with, you are not a lone island. You'd be surprised to realize that there's another sister not too far from you who is going through the same thing or has overcome what it is that you're going through.
Yeah.
And at the moment that you have enough courage to speak up, and I know sometimes we say, oh, I don't know if that sister's going to, I don't know if I can speak to the right person. I don't want people to take my thing and weaponize it against me. And I was there. I was at a point in time where there was someone in my life that I had confided in, and she weaponized my honesty and my vulnerability against me so that she could manipulate me to be able to do or be submissive to her, or as it was as if I owed her because of her covering. And it wasn't until I matured and realized that was actually manipulation and not love. It was demonic, very much so. It wasn't until I was able to mature. I matured and I came to a place where that's not the case. And there was for a time where I decided I wouldn't speak to anyone else because that was traumatic for me. But then I decided to change the script. I remember in 2018, I decided for the first 30 days of the year, I was going to fast for friends. And I told God, if you could provide David with a Jonathan, you can provide me with a Jonathan. Someone who will take the cloak off their back and cover me when I need it. Who will prepare me and coach me for the rooms that I am called to be in, and will not be intimidated by the gift and the talent and the brilliance that I am. But we could both contemplate the brilliance of each other. I fasted for those types of friends. And I can tell you today that God gave me those friends. So God can even restore and deliver us in the place of friendship and in the place of true intimacy that is platonic, that is honest, and that is true. If you are looking for a Jonathan, sis, whether that Jonathan is therapy or whether that Jonathan is friendship, it is available to you. You are not a lone island. There's hope, and you have permission today to speak up and to lay hold of your mental, emotional, and spiritual freedom. Don't stay hidden. Don't lock yourself up and toss the key. We want the key, sis. We're unlocking your gate. Come on out of there. We love you.
Go ahead now.
Oh my God. And on that note, baby, this is episode 1.
Yes.
Share it with your friends. I would love to hear what you guys think, what those conversations are like. And I guess the word of the day is, daughter, you have permission.
You have permission.
You have permission
to move forward.
That's right.
Bye, guys. See you next episode.